I start my work early in the morning, and unfortunately I get to see all the animals that got hit on the road during the night. And this morning I came across a mother possum. This morning I came across a mother possum that had been killed on the road, and she had 8 babies that had been clinging to her. These are 2 of them that didn't make it. These were dead. There were a couple more smashed on the road. And there were 4 of them that looked like this. They looked like they were dead, but I just took all the ones that hadn't been outright killed on the road and put them in a box here with some tissue and put it where a heater was blowing on it. And 4 of them came around. These guys I have to bury. These guys didn't make it. They've been laying out all night. Some of them were clinging to the mother, some of them were laying on the pavement, and they've been out all night in 40-degree weather. I shoved all of them into, all I had was a box that was an empty box from disposable gloves. Now last year I had found some baby possums as well. I took them to a wildlife place, but because they were small, like the ones I found today, they just killed them all. They euthanized them because they have so many babies. They said they had to cull out ones that were smaller and took more care and probably might not survive. So this time I'm going to try to raise these for myself. If you're so inclined as to check on a possum that's been recently hit on the road, and you do find young baby possums, they may be in her pouch if they're very small, but if they're as big as these guys, they're already where they don't all fit in the pouch, and a lot of them will be clinging to her fur on the outside. The first thing you have to do with any babies of any type of animal, before you feed it, you have to get them warmed up. So the first thing is gentle heat so they don't get burned. You got to make sure you feel it with your hand to make sure it's warm. And you want to kind of put them on their bellies on the heat so that that heat gets into their inner organs and gets the blood pumping again. on the move. You know what they're doing? They're rooting around. They're rooting around looking for their mother's nipple. And I don't understand that it's an eyedropper. So what I'm doing is I labeled their tails with Sharpie. That won't hurt them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I don't miss anybody either. You can also switch them from one container to another as you feed them. But I like to feed them a drop. I'm giving him a drop of, look at him rooting. Oh, he's rooting. He's like, where is it? He's rooting around. Give him a drop. 2 of them swallowed right away. 2 of them had trouble swallowing. Now, I don't know if these guys might have internal injuries or not. I mean, they were thrown onto the road and laid there all night. And the other ones were thrown, you know, with the mother on the hard pavement. But I'm going to keep trying. So I'm giving everybody a drop. Then I put them back. Then I pick them up again and give them another drop. So I'm just going in order. And each gets a drop and each gets a chance to swallow that drop. Another thing you'll have to do, like kittens, they have to be stimulated to go to the bathroom. So you take a paper towel dipped in warm water and you just stroke their private area until they pee. You'll see it gets yellow on the paper towel, or they might do something a little more solid, but most of these guys are just peeing out. After they had a couple of meals, I put them under some warm running water here in the sink, and I shampooed their bodies with a little bit of this critter shampoo. You want to get something that's mild, something maybe for rabbits, guinea pigs, like that. And I gave them all a good wash and then dried them off, because they had a lot of blood and gunk on them from the mother that was all mashed up. You gotta make sure they don't put their head under the running water. You can wipe their head off with a little wet tissue paper or something like that. But now 3 of these guys peed out yellow pee, and then one of them peed out some brownish stuff that was a little thicker. I just gave them another feeding. They're moving about. Their eyes are opening. Actually, their eyes were half open this morning. And their tails, their prehensile tails, you see the way in their little feet, they just cling to you. And put you back with your clan there, huh? Now, because their eyes are opening, these guys would be about 2 months old, about 8 weeks old. In another 8 weeks, they will be completely able to take care of themselves. I got it hopefully nice and warm in there. I got this big heater going here. You want to make sure, either use a thermometer or your hand, and make sure it's it's toasty warm, but it's not too warm. You want it just to feel nice and comfortable for your hand, but not so it's getting too hot. I'm going to have to see if I can get these guys to eliminate some more waste here. Now they only get maybe 2 to 5 drops from an eyedropper each feeding. Don't overfeed little animals because you'll kill them. So 4 to 5, maybe 5 drops, that's about half an eyedropper full. Tonight I think I'm going to go to a 3-hour feeding if they're doing good by evening. You can see how they're progressing. I mean, their eyes are open now. Their eyes were not all the way open this morning. What you looking at, little guy? They're in here. As I feed them, I transfer them to this little box so that everybody got their meal and I don't miss somebody. Because a lot of them, they look too much alike to tell the difference. You want to test this on your wrist like a baby. Make sure it's not too hot. As soon as they start moving around, they're looking for a nipple, but this is tested on my wrist so it's not too hot. It should be warm. Yesterday they weren't swallowing well at all. This time they're showing a little more action, opening their mouths and kind of smacking their lips. Get it in here. Now yesterday I was just giving them a couple of drops at a time about every hour and then every 2 hours. Always test it. But now they're moving their mouths a little bit. So I'm going to give them a whole eyedropper full. Look at the little hands. This guy has a bruised tail. His tail got injured in this accident. It's all turned purple because it was injured. Okay, come on. Okay, a little bit more here, guy. Come on. Yes, possums can have bacteria that can make you sick, but it's not like a baby raccoon that's going to kill you, but you could get sick and you'd need antibiotics. So you want to just keep everything as clean as possible and handle them with gloves, or if you don't have gloves, just wash your hands after you're done. So he's just getting about an eyedropper full. Then you have to wipe their face off. I get a little warm water. Make sure it's not hot. A little warm water on a towel and just give them a little face wash. And then the last thing you need to do is turn them like this and use that wet warm water just to stroke their bottoms here and see if they'll pee out. If they pee out, you'll see yellow appearing on this towel. If you use a white towel, that's the best. Now sometimes they don't pee. Oh, he peed. You can see the yellow. Another idea is to use a pan on your lap. You can keep stuff in. If you have to set the baby down, you can set them right in this. This is just from a pot. This is the saucer from a house plant that was washed out. So this is the next guy, and I made this a little thicker. Let's see if he'll eat. Yesterday it was hard giving them any food at all because this was like they were having trouble swallowing. See there, he swallowed it. That's a lot better than yesterday. So just a drop at a time. Let him get it down. Come on. That he's opening and moving his mouth is a good sign, I guess, but I'm not sure these guys are going to survive or not. Okay, come on, open up again. One drop at a time, because you don't want to choke them, and you don't want to overfeed them either, because if you fill their stomach up, it starts coming up their throat, and they can drown. They can drown in the milk. I'll give them one more little bit. Come on, open up. Squirt. And then I'll get just a little warm water on it, and we'll see if we can make him go to the bathroom here. One of them peed out some blood yesterday, so I don't know if that's gonna heal up or if that's there it is, all the yellow, so that's a lot of pee. Yesterday they were also having trouble going to the bathroom. Okay, so we'll get a clean towel and we'll get the next guy. Put a little water in here to cool this slightly. He's looking around. He's looking around trying to find his mom. Sorry, your mom's gone. These guys were all ice cold when I found them, and they were even like stiff. I mean, they all looked like they were dead. But I could see a tiny, tiny bit of movement, just like the smallest slow twitch of their finger. So I just took them all. This guy's a little stronger. He's trying to grab onto the glove like it's something that he can get some milk out of. He's opening his mouth and trying to grab on, which is better than some of these guys that just aren't doing much of anything. You see his mouth working? They don't understand, you know, this thing is not like their mother, so it's like, what is this hard plastic thing you're shoving in my mouth here? What is this? I just wrote it down for myself. This is what you must feed them, okay? Don't give them any cow's milk. Do not do that. You can give them this goat's milk asbilic. It's a puppy formula, all right? A lot of pet stores sell it. Comes in a powder. But it's not good enough. Some people say, oh, that's good enough, but it's not good enough because they need extra nutrition, especially calcium, but it has to be in a certain ratio, calcium phosphorus ratio, or they can end up with bones that are not strong and bones that break easily, or bone deformities, okay? If you're not going to do it right, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. You need to give these little guys to someone. Maybe you can find someone who raises orphaned baby kittens, and they can get the supplies they need. But this is the stuff you need. And I know I sound like I'm preaching, but you know, I didn't know anything about it either. I had to learn the formulas, and it's a very different kind of animal than another kind of mammal. It's very different from raccoons or puppies or kittens. So we have the goat's milk asbilic, which you can get at pet stores. You add 1 cup of distilled water, heated up but not boiling. You want to boil an egg, and then you want to take half of the yolk and add that into there. Now, I couldn't find the liquid calcium. I called around, none of the stores had it, so I got the plain calcium citrate tablets. They're 600 milligram tablets, but you need 200 for this recipe. So I just mashed it up and cut it into thirds. Okay, and the one important thing with that is the calcium citrate cannot have anything else in it. They can't have added vitamin D or added magnesium or anything like that. It just has to be plain calcium citrate, so check that and make sure there's no additives to it in the form of other minerals or vitamins. Getting down to here, we have a brewer's yeast. Some of the health food stores sell this. It comes in a tablet, but all I could find was the powder, so you'll have to figure out. I did a ratio, and it came out to 3/4 teaspoon of brewer's yeast for this recipe. Unsweetened apple juice. You have to make sure there's no sugar added, and it shouldn't be anything where it's from concentrate. Get the stuff that's just 100% pure apple juice. Now, I'm not talking about apple cider. I'm talking about apple juice like you buy on the shelf in the grocery store, and then you refrigerate it after you open it. And the best kind is the kind that's not from concentrate. And then 1 teaspoon of Nutrical. This I didn't even know about, so I had to call around. Comes in a tube, and it's for puppies. So you might have to call around to several pet stores. I had to call 3 pet stores before I found someone who had it. It was Petco. Petco carried it. It comes in a tube, and it's a high calorie supplement. Okay, so here's the whole recipe. Now when you make this, you stir it up, beat it up real well with a little egg beater or a fork, and then you can freeze it, but you want to let it cool down first in the refrigerator, and you can freeze it in an ice cube tray. Clean ice cube trays, because you can't keep this. I mean, you need to use this within 24 hours unless you freeze it. Well, here's something new. 24 hours has passed. They're starting to lick each other, and I don't know if they're looking for more milk. I think they're licking the milk off of them. That I can't get it all off of their little bodies without giving them a bath. But it looks like they're kind of licking each other's faces and. hot water bottle. Heat some water almost to boiling. Fill this only 1/3 full, and get the air out. Squeeze it so the air gets out before you cork it. So it should be pretty flat. Now you have to make sure it's not going to be too hot. So you're going to have to test it with your hand. So we put it in there, and then you have to press your hand down against it. It should just feel slightly warm. It should not feel hot, just slightly warm. If it's not warm enough, remove one of the towels. I don't think we need that one. Let's put that one off to the side here. These are just little old pieces of towel, so that feels cozy but not hot. So let's put these little guys back in. Okay, and in they go. Okay, so we're going to put those guys in. You can crawl to warmer areas, but we don't want them getting burned. And I just cover them with a few paper towels like this. They like to be underneath where it's real airy and light and they can breathe. And I'm going to turn the lights out and let them sleep. I also better mention that you should have a cover because these little guys can crawl out and then get on the floor and then they'll get cold and real chilled again.